CharMargolis, Char Communications Incorporated, and CharVision LLC do not endorse or offer for any purpose but entertainment the views of any guest or other expert on CharVision or UBN.
I knew things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision.
Hey everybody, it's Sunny and Char, and today is March 4th, and I'm so excited because my friend John Edward is on with us tonight. Hooray! Hi, John.
Hello. Hello, Char. Thank you for having me. It's been forever.
Oh, but listen, I had a whole thing planned. He started psychic television with Crossing Over and Cross Country, and really, you're a pioneer in doing all the psychic shows, and they're still playing on different networks, aren't they?
Fortunately and unfortunately, yes, because I feel like you get a chance to watch yourself age when you go back and watch those clips, and as much as I love the opportunity and the work, sometimes seeing those old clips are brutal.
Right. But do you watch them?
If I have to, I was doing an interview for a PBS station, and the gentleman was interviewing me, and he threw to a clip, and it was a very dramatic reading, and he's like, "What are you thinking, in the moment right now, watching that?" I was like, "Honestly?" And he's like, "Yeah." I go, "How thin I am." That's what I was thinking. It wasn't the answer he was looking for, but that was the God's honest truth. I was like, "Damn, I was skinny. I look like I ate myself." That was what I was thinking.
I think you're skinny now. I think you look great now. I think you look better than when you did those shows.
Well, do you remember when the guy came up to me in Canada and said, "Are you sick?"
Wait, we were both on the diet together.
Yeah, but I had a little I had a little extra help with a thyroid condition that I didn't know I had. But he's like, "You okay? You look like you need a sandwich." All right, thank you. What do you say to that? Well, thank you for having me. This is amazing. What is this, your 7th season, your 7th year, right? Doing CharVision?
In May, it'll be 7 years. It's
poof, right? Just like that.
Gina, our manager, said that I'm a pioneer in podcasts. Crazy, but one of the reasons I did it was because of one of the things you said to me. Do you know
Please
what?
Don't ask me that. I don't remember.
Okay, of course, because you never remember what you say, just like I don't remember. Okay, so you said that people are going to be watching individuals and people are going to have their own I don't know
channels. They were gonna create their own. This I remember.
They were going to create
their own channels of what they wanted to watch.
Right. And you did. You said that, and you actually started Infinite Quest, and
yep. And then that went into Evolve.
And you're doing Evolve now, right?
Yep. Still doing Evolve. Shout out to the Evolve family members that are watching. I'm sure they're watching.
Yeah, and but you knew this was going to happen, and you knew that podcasts were going to take off, or just people having their own shows.
I did. I actually did. I remember sitting in a venture capital meeting when I was doing Infinite Quest, and somebody wanted to actually invest in it and try to make it, something that it wasn't going to become. And when I said, "Yeah, they said you need to do it for free," and I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Not subscription based." He goes, "Nobody's ever going to pay for subscription stuff." And I went, "You're wrong. It is going to be the future." So here we are, Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max and Disney Plus. It's just the nature of circular I think communications, right? So we started with channels, and then from channels we went to cable, and from cable we went to satellite, and now we're kind of going back to channels, right? Like Netflix is like ABC and Hulu is like NBC. So it's like it's if you just kind of watch. I feel like sometimes being a psychic and working in the world of energy is kind of like being at a zoo. We stand back and we observe what's happening in the world, and
Right.
then we go, oh, that's interesting. That's going to happen, and this is going to happen. And then people go, oh my God, how did you know that? It's like, because I was paying attention. I was
Right.
watching the energy, right? So I think that what I try to do with Evolve, what you do here on CharVision with the guests that we have on, is we try to raise the vibration so that people recognize they could look at life through an energetic lens, and
Mhm.
they too could look at life like they're the like zoologist walking through the zoo and trying to understand the people that we work with, the people that we're related to, and some of the choices and decisions that people make that we don't agree with and why, and all of that stuff.
Well, I mean, after my next birthday, I'll be doing this work for 50 years. 50. And you've been doing it for what, 38, 39?
Almost 36, 37th year starts this year. Since 1985, 4 decades.
Okay, so between the two of us, you got
We old. We got a century of experience.
right, right. We're geriatrics. So, so how do you feel about the subject matter and where it's going and how, everybody's putting up a shingle and saying I'm a psychic.
Right. Well, it's funny you should say that, Shar, because as we talked about with the circular kind of things happening in television, I kind of feel like I'm back in 1985. I feel like I have just walked into a psychic fair and everybody has their cards and their shingles. And I remember when I walked into the first fair that I went to, like all these big, big fluorescent yellow, fluorescent orange posters. Like one woman said, I'll knock your socks off with my accuracy. Like really egotistical kind of like, see me, let me read you kind of a vibe. And
Uh-huh.
I remember when I started working at the psychic, I was 15 years old. I started working at the fair, and somebody came over to me and said, "You have no signage." And I went, "You're right, I don't." And they said, "All you have is a business card that says Readings by John." And I went, "You are correct. That's what I have." And they
Uh-huh.
went, "Why?" I said, "Because I want the work to speak for itself. I don't want somebody to come to me because they like the color of my sign."
Right.
And I just felt like back then I got a really quick understanding about how the world of spirituality and ego are very different. They're not braided together. And just because somebody says that they're a psychic,
Mhm.
do not think that they're ethical or spiritual. Just
Exactly.
because somebody calls themselves a medium
Right.
doesn't mean that they can actually do it. And a colleague of ours, Jonathan Lewis, and I were talking, and he said something similar where he said, he goes, yeah, he goes, you did have a lot of breakthrough moments with television and
Right.
being the first out there. He goes, but also what comes with that is it opened the door so wide that all these other people came barreling on through.
Right.
And he said they don't have the same approach. They're not coming from the same spot. They just saw psychic medium and now they think like psychic medium. So if anybody's online and they're looking at Instagram or TikTok, oh my God, like I found TikTok as a escape. TikTok to me was a pandemic relief. I watched the pranks, I loved the puppies, the funny videos, the scare, all that kind of stuff.
You sent
And
me.
then yeah, I just sent it to you all the time. And then I discovered, and I don't know, my brain was like just not there. I never thought there would be a psychic side to TikTok.
Right.
And there's a psychic side to TikTok. And
Really.
let me tell you, oh yeah, sure. Oh,
I
there's a
don't.
psychic
Yeah, I
side.
don't. I don't watch.
Let me just assure the folks that are out there that about 95% of the time when something psychic comes across my feed, I must mess with the algorithm in a big, big way. As soon as it hits my screen, I push hard and hit not interested. Even though I have psychic in my title, I will hit not interested because most of the people that I come across on TikTok are so full of it, it's really detrimental to the work. And I don't think they're doing it for the right reason. And some of them may think they're doing it for the right reason, but they're not mediums. When you're flipping a tarot card over, which by the way, I have them with me every time I'm doing like any type of work. I always have my cards. But a tarot card is not used in mediumship. It's a
Right.
symbol. So you don't flip a card and say your dad wants you to know the magician, right? That's not you get information psychically. So I kind of like think people in general as a community, right? As a world globally, there is a rise of people that are claiming to do this work that have an interest in it, but maybe that they shouldn't be doing it or they don't know. Now, I know that you're teaching. I know that you have done retreats. I know that you're now teaching people how to harness
I
their
don't
ability.
Okay, but I don't teach people to be psychics.
No, you're
I
teaching them about energy.
I teach them to be psychic for themselves and their
Right,
family. You
right.
know, when I started doing this, I was on a mission to get this work out, and I went to every local market to and I would read for the local newscasters, and I would convince them, and people go, "Oh, well, they're saying the news, so they, trust her and whatever." So the you and I are both dedicated to getting the work out. We both have been. You've worked your tail off getting the work out, and also took a lot of flack
A
from
little bit, just a wee bit.
yeah, no, I mean a lot. I mean, you're really made of some strong stuff, because it's not easy, because people don't understand, and they're skeptics, and they're unkind, and they're jealous, and there's just so much going on with people's attitudes, and you've always stayed true to the work.
Have to, because I mean, if you're doing it for real, then you know you have to have a reverence, right?
Right.
A respect.
Right, because you and I both know, if you don't,
Bam.
right, right, they, right, they'll
And
take
I
it
do,
out.
yeah, I do wonder, no, I mean, you and I have talked privately about this, that there are certain energies that are out there, right? I see it on TikTok. There are certain people that are out there doing this. And I just go, when is it going to happen for them? Like, and I remember thinking, my guide said to me, um, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
Right, right. And anybody who is doing the work always has to go through the hard lessons.
Yeah. Because
Even
you
when
need,
you're sincere and honest and dedicated.
right? And dedicated is spelled Deadica, right? One more time.
That's really
Just to be clear. Yeah. A
good.
little
That's
psychic humor.
but the problem is that when ego gets in the way, and I always write in my books, ego means edging God out. And so you and I both know when that has happened, and maybe in my younger years anyway, it's like they slam you and you go, no, 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 no. I just want to say that when I do my readings, or when I do my teaching, I don't give a certificate to say you can
Right.
go out and put up a shingle and say you're psychic. No, I help people to prevent problems and attain goals in their own lives and the lives of their loved ones. And I'm sorry.
Energetic, yeah, you're energetic life coaching. It's getting people to. It's like I have two kids that are extremely psychic. Neither one of them have any interest in doing readings. Can they? Yeah, they can. They've been trained enough in the field that they can actually turn it on and do it. It's not their passion, so they're not gonna do it. But I'll go to them if I have questions. Like I'll go to them and say, hey, how do you feel about this? Because they've been trained to protect their energy. They know how to calm and balance themselves. They have a great respect for their team, and they're really accurate. So I will pay attention to what it is that like they'll give me because I've trained them in the same way to look at life through an energetic lens so
Well,
that when I'm not around them, they can go, oh, I could hit my source, trust my guides, and go with what I'm feeling.
well, when they were little, you were always talking to them about their teams.
Yep. I was always talking about we always had conversations about energy. And I would say, you can't go to school and talk about this. And they'd be like, why? I was like, well, do you go to school and talk Portuguese? Because their mom's family all speaks Portuguese. And they go, no. And I go, how come? And they go, because they don't understand. And I go, exactly. So this is like a language. They don't understand it. So don't talk about it. And they got it. And then, they got a chance to watch things happen. They got a chance to see things unfold.
Mhm.
So
Well, you know, and the other thing I notice is that there are people who are psychic and they get well known, and then people don't know them anymore. You've always stayed out there. You've always
I just
been.
do my thing. Yeah, I just do my thing. Like I did a course through Hay House, and one of the stipulations in my contract with them is that they wouldn't offer a certification. So nobody could say I took Project U and now I'm certified by, John Edward. And in 2001, I think it was the last time I did an in-person workshop, and I made everybody there sign a legal disclaimer saying they would not use my name for the same exact reasons, because some people just want to be able to say, I studied with Char, I studied with John Edward. That means nothing. The piece of paper, the certification to me is worthless. If it has value to you, that's awesome. But the reality is the value comes in what you do, and you're only as good as your last reading. And sometimes, 36 years later, I feel like, damn, I sucked tonight. Like I wanted it to be more. I wanted it to be better. And the client's happy, but I'm not. Like
Right.
they're fine, but I always want more. But you can't make people come through and say what you want. You can't make people come through, as much as you can try to control something, um, it is what it is at the end of the day.
Hmm. Well, you know, I think that, you should be really proud of yourself for all
Thank
you've.
you. And I have a great respect, and I've always talked about how I watched you on the Sally Jessa Raphael show. I've told the story a million times, but it is really one of the moments where we have these moments early in our development, and this was early in my development before I even know I was going to be developing. And I watched you with a number of other psychics on a panel show, and Sally did a gotcha psychic show, and it was
Mhm.
like the height of gotcha psychic show,
Mhm.
time when the guy like whipped off his mustache. It was like a
Right.
ridiculous moment in hindsight. Now it was like laughable. But you like commandeered that moment. You didn't get thrown. The other person that he did it to kind of did get thrown. And I
Mhm.
think rightfully so. But you didn't. You just kind of like, man on the street, the guy in the front row, and made this poor guy cry and validated. And what I remember is like 75% of the show didn't look good. And then
Mhm.
that last part of the show saved the work. And to me, I felt like that's what this is about. It's about making sure that we leave people better than we find them. So at
Right.
the end of that show, you did that for the people that were watching that
Mhm.
went, oh, this is real. She's just a little wacky with a bag on her head, whoever she will, whatever she was doing.
Right. Right. But there are people who try to pretend they're you and they're not, like on social media or
Well,
fake.
there were actually over 60 imposter accounts right now on TikTok with some iteration of my name. And I tell people all the time, every social media account that I have has a blue verified check mark. I wouldn't be on the app if I couldn't be verified. So I'm verified in everything. And what they do is they go under a comment and then they comment as me with my photo and people think it's me responding. And
Really
it's
bad.
really bad.
But
Facebook, Instagram,
that's
it's
why
constantly all the time.
I wanted to bring that up because I people need to know that when it's really you, it's you, and you're still doing readings, right?
Yeah, but I would never direct message somebody and say, "Hey, I have a message for you." That is not that first of all, that's unethical. Um, I
April
wouldn't do
7th,
that.
April 7th, you're going to be in Michigan.
I
You're going to
am.
be in Detroit, and you've got a group. And I read for someone today who's already bought 2 tickets.
Cool. It'll be my first time. I'm kind of like going back onto the road slowly.
Mhm.
It's been a very weird 2 years. I've been somewhat reclusive because of the whole world of COVID.
Yeah,
Um, but like things are shifting, so I'm trying to shift and adapt. You know me well.
right.
Um, the control freak in me is shifting and adapting as best as I possibly can under the circumstances.
Yeah. Well, but you're, even though you're a control freak, you do it with a big heart and other
we
people's
we
best
were
interest.
we were in Staten Island and Katrina was on stage and somebody said to her because she was given the rules of keep your masks on and all that kind of stuff and some lady yelled out or some guy yelled out, "You need to loosen up." And she literally turned around and said to the person, she's like, "Oh, I am the loose one. Wait till Mr. Germaphobe gets out here."
Well, I know that people love listening to us talk, but I would you mind taking some callers and doing
I would
some
love to.
readings?
No, I would love to.
Okay.
Just have
Okay.
them have.
Tony is great at choosing people.
Well, the people that are supposed to get read are going to get read. And if they get picked, just have them have one question that I could direct my energy at. I may not be able to bring through who they want to hear from, but I might talk about something else. And whatever I see, hear, and feel, I will say.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll try to validate as much as I can so that we know what's coming in.
Real quickly, I just want to say anything in, near, around, or about us that is not of light, go back to where you came from and turn to light if you choose, but stay away from us. Okay, now go.
Okay, so we have all the way from the land down under, a Sydney, Australia call. So you're on the air
Aw,
with John and
Oh,
Char.
that's John's second home. Hello.
Yes, it's Julie. I'm in Sydney, Australia. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Of
thanks for
course,
calling in.
John.
Thank you so much.
John's really
I've
famous in
saw you in Sydney once, John.
At the Stage Theater?
At Homebush, I think it was, near the Olympic
Okay.
Stadium.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What's your first name?
My name's Julie, and I'm in Sydney.
Jolie? Did you say
AULA.
Julie? I'm sorry, you cut out. Did you say Julie?
or Joy.
I'm sorry. Julie.
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 Thank you.
Julie. Yes.
Okay. Julie,
Thank you.
what's your question if you had a question?
Yes. I just would like any guidance or details of my next step because I got
Okay,
laid
stop
off
right there.
from my job this week.
Let's just stop right there. So the first thing I did when you said guidance and you weren't asking me about something other side is I flipped over my deck of tarot cards. I would show it to you right now, but you won't be able to see
Yes.
it because I have a virtual background. But I'm looking at the Five of Pentacles. So if you look at the Five of Pentacles, if you pull it up, if you could see the Five of Pentacles, it is in the Rider-Waite deck. It's it's kind of a bleak looking scene, to be honest. It is a bleak background. It's a gray background. It's got snow. There's five pentacles that are illuminating a stained glass window. And there's two people outside. One's kind of like walking on crutches and the other one's got like missing a shoe in the snow. And when I first started working with the cards, I used to look at this card and go, oh my God, this is bleak and despair. And they just popped it up on the screen. So if you can see that card right there, thanks, Tony. There's the two guys that are walking outside. It's kind of, it doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies when you're looking at it, Julie. However, the way that I pulled it up is upside down. So it's reversed. So what it does is it lightens what this message is. So I feel like you are just at the beginning stages of recognizing your actual value. You're just at the beginning stages of recognizing what you have that's of value, what you are working with of value. And I don't know if you worked in hospitality, if you did anything with restaurants or hotels or anything along those lines, but you might find yourself pulled or drawn to a place that does something along those lines where you're getting involved with something that feels new, like a new beginning, a fresh start. And then did you ever do anything with readings or did you yourself ever study anything about metaphysics, astrology?
Oh, yes. For 7 years, but I did it as a side hustle and I worked in media for 20 years. So I've been like preparing for this for my whole life.
So
yes.
I feel like
and I am a psychic person. I just don't.
So Julie, I feel like you're I'm just looking at the other cards here. I feel like there's also an imbalance in your family life. You know that, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. That is really where your true work is going to come in, Julie. I don't know if you lost a brother or if there's a male contemporary for you that's passed a while ago, but there's the loss of
my dad.
there's a loss of a male energy in your family, and it literally has kind of torn at the fabric. The seams feel like they've been ripped over and never repaired. So it feels like there's some unfinished, unspoken issues that need to be like navigated there. Julie, there's a very strong R name. Think like Robert, think like Rose, R. There's an R name that's connected to the family in some way. And then somebody had either an issue with substance around you or somebody was dealing or navigating with something with substance. But that comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Is your mom still here?
She's alive, but we haven't had contact over 20 years. And then my dad died from suicide 25 years ago.
So again, it ripped at the fabric and the seam of your family. And you know, the universe, the universe wants us to learn the lessons that we came here to learn. And if you choose not to learn them with your mom or through your dad and the family dynamic, that's always our free will and choice. But the universe goes, okay, well then I'm going to put you into this. And I'm going to give you this set of circumstances, which is going to mirror and reflect that set of circumstances. So we don't really escape anything. So I kind of feel like there's still some stuff that you're navigating and patterns that you're navigating. I would tell you not to run from what your life was. I would tell you not to run from the world that you worked in. But I do think that there's something about hospitality, hotels, restaurants, even if it's just a part-time thing for you, something completely different and what might feel mindless, but occupationally new. But yeah, and what's your birthday? That's just the month and day.
My birthday is August 10.
Did you say August 10th?
Yes.
So yeah, you were when I'm looking at this, and I have to be very, very, very aware that Glynis McCants, the numbers lady, is watching. And she's amazing. We love Glynis. Shout out to Glynis.
Glennis.
And Glennis right now has just figured out that you are in a 6-person year, and that right now it's a time of love, balance, harmony, family, and healing. But I feel like you're literally looking to try to find harmony and balance in your world, and I think that's the place to go. Like, start looking at what's the anybody that's facing a conflict that's watching this, what's the obstacle? What's the blockage? Try to evaluate it like you're that person in the zoo looking at it for somebody else, and try to figure out, okay, what can I do to understand the lesson? Because if I can understand the lesson, then I can navigate the circumstance and I don't have to repeat this again. I hope this helps, Julie. And I look forward to coming down under again
Yes.
as soon as possible.
So Judy, thank
Yes,
you so
the
much.
borders are open. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
So much for calling. Be well.
Thank
Okay,
you
that
so
was-
much. Bye-bye. Bye.
All the best. See, they love you down under, John.
Well, the feelings are mutual. I can't wait to get back there.
And
I
by
feel
the
like
way, John invited me to come down to Australia with him, and we went to see Bindi and Robert and Terry. And
Harry.
yeah, we had so much fun. So anyway, I would have never gone at that trip if you hadn't invited me. So thank you.
It was a good journey.
It was so much fun. Okay, so let's get another caller.
Okay, we have a 516, which is from New York. So
That's my neck of the woods.
It is.
You're live on the air with Char and John.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you? Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Hi.
good. What's your first name?
My first name is Mathilde.
Mathilde.
Mathilde. Hi. So I guess. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I'm a little bit delayed.
Oh, yes, there is a delay. Should I just ask my question?
Sure.
Or. I guess it's kind of related to Julie, but hopefully some guidance or what's going to happen in the future for me in terms of my career.
Sure. Matilda, what's your birthday? Are you a Virgo?
No, I'm a Taurus. May
Who's the
14, 2000.
Who's the Virgo around you?
I don't really have a lot of Virgos around me.
So I'm going to tell you then, under the sign of Virgo, which will be August, September, you're going to see probably more of an opening up energy around you. But let's talk about a couple things. One, Matilda, people probably tell you all the time that you're stubborn, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to reframe that for them and say, actually, I'm not stubborn. I just need a lot of information to make an informed decision. That's what you're going to say to them. I'm not stubborn. I just need a lot of information to make an informed decision. And the reason is that people will say, oh, you're stubborn like a bull because you're a Taurus and that, you can't do anything. But I know a lot of Taurians, and what they don't like are abrupt, sudden changes. It rips you from the comfort of what you see as being normal. So one of the things that you need is a lot of information. So if I had a Taurus child, I would never try to surprise them with something. I would want to make sure that I'm informing them, hey, on Saturday, we're going to be doing this. You're probably going to want to dress like that. And here's what you're going to be eating. Here's the food to look forward to, because Taurians like to have like the good meal. I think that how personal can I be, Mathilde?
You can be personal.
Okay. Did you ever work with a therapist, or have you ever done some type of like therapy?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like are you doing it now? Like, is that something you're working on now?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. I feel like the energy that you're currently in, and you'll be in this for the next year, this energy feels like you're the philosopher. It feels like I call it the refrigerator door. It's the year where you open the fridge and you actually examine all the items that are sitting on the door of the fridge. And the reason why you do that is because you went shopping and you got the bigger ketchup and it doesn't fit. So instead of just tossing it where it should go, you now have to look at every single thing that's there and go, well, do I need this Thousand Island dressing that's expired for 2 years and it's taking up space? So Matilda, what you're doing is you're evaluating what's taking up space in your family life, in your friendship life, and the fact that there have been some obstacles on a personal level that stopped you from feeling like you can achieve whatever it is, that position, that job, that occupation, that whatever the goal is that you set, that you kind of self-sabotage because you do self-sabotage. Did you discuss this with your
Mhm.
therapist?
Yes, I have. I have discussed that.
Okay. Now, do you have a daughter?
I don't.
So who's the younger female around you? Or was there a child that didn't happen?
Oh, I have my little sister who's 9.
Okay. So your little sister to me almost feels like she's yours, like she's your daughter. It feels like she's connected to you in a way like whether you want to be mom to her or not, this is a kid that's looking up to you. Did you ever think about going into healthcare?
No, I actually haven't because I wasn't a science person or anything in high school.
So what about now? So you're not in high school now, so you're in a different circle.
No, I'm more towards journalism.
I see you doing something with health and healing. I see something healthcare related. I see you doing, whenever I see this symbol,
Oh.
that to me is healing and teaching. So it's the same axis. One axis is where you're legitimately doing it, doing the healing, healthcare. And the other axis is where you're teaching and you're inspiring somebody in a different way, but it's still using your energy to do that. So
Mhm.
if you are doing something journalistic, if you're writing about politics or if you're writing about hard news, it's not going to be fulfilling to you. If you're writing about something that can leave somebody better, you can inform somebody with something that's going to help them on their journey. You're providing them with information. That to me, I feel like would be helpful for you. Where's the brain tumor
Mm.
connection or who had a brain issue?
A brain issue?
Yeah, like did somebody in your family have a brain tumor?
Mm. No.
I think you're wrong. There's somebody that's around you that had something that affected their head, Mathilde. So like either like a brain tumor, an aneurysm, something brain related. There's a brain related
Mm.
thing.
Brain related.
Is there anybody else sitting
I'm
next to you or
thinking
near
right now.
anybody else near you?
Uh, just people I work with.
So one of the things I have if you've watched Char, if you've watched me, we've joked about this in the past. There's something that I cannot do that I would literally become paranoid and freak out on the spot if I had to be asked that she can do with like no problem. She could like walk in Central Park, open herself up and read for one
Mhm.
person. I would walk into Central Park, open myself up, and have to like run after people going, wait, is this for you? Wait, is this for you? Because I don't know where it's go. I don't know where it goes. So if I'm connected to you and you're around other people, I'm going to tell you that there's somebody that you're connected to who had a brain tumor. If it's not your family, it's something like a brain tumor, a brain
Mhm.
aneurysm. So
Are you
whoever would
at
be
work?
sick,
Is she at work now?
I don't know. She said
Yes.
she's around people.
Are you around people now?
I am. I can ask the person around me if
That
there's a history of brain tumor.
ask them.
No, no. He just said there isn't a family or his
But
or
here's the
any
deal. Here's the
history.
deal. It's somebody could have had an aneurysm. Somebody could have had a stroke.
Someone have an aneurysm
but-
or a stroke.
Okay.
Wait, I had stroke. Like my grandma had a stroke. Yes.
Okay, so that might be what you were picking up on, John, because that's, you know,
Well, it's just the energy of what I'm
And
seeing
I
with
don't
brain
know.
related.
right, right.
Mm.
Well,
And then are you leaving your job now though? Are you leaving where you work?
Soon.
Yeah. I don't feel like you're, I don't want to say valued or appreciated, but maybe the opportunities won't happen for you where you're at in the way that you want them to.
Oh, it's an internship, so I'm just like learning,
Right.
and
So
just gaining more experience.
good for you. Good for you.
well, Mathilde, thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much for calling. But you know, I get that. If anyone has ever seen John in a group and he will pick up on people, and it'll be the person behind them that'll pick up on, you know, that had the, you know, amputated leg or whatever it is. But and I guarantee you, I don't know if it's your grandma in the stroke or not, but I guarantee you you're gonna
I
come up.
remember the last time I was on Dr. Phil, and it literally was the last time they had me on. They had asked me, they had asked me if I, you know, did I know anything about the first guest that they had on the show? And you and I've been on the show so many times, Char. Like they never sequestered. I've never been sequestered on the show. And the last time I was there, they kind of sequestered me in a different room to make sure that I couldn't hear anything, and I couldn't hear the show. And then I came out, and they were like, he goes, do you know anything? Dr. Phil goes, do you know anything about our first guest? And I went, no. He said, okay, well, there they are. And he points to them in the audience. So clearly, sheer panic, right? And I
Right.
looked at him and said, what if I can't read for them? I go, I made a joke. I go, are you going to be mad? And he went, yeah. And I just was like, okay. And then, of course, I got pulled to the opposite side of the studio. And I looked at him. I went, well, you're going to be mad. And I wound up reading for somebody like in the back.
Or
It
the
was like,
cat guy or whatever, because
yeah,
it's
crazy.
because you're a real medium, and the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Matilda, thank you so much for calling. Take good care.
Good luck,
Thank
Matilda.
you. Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye-bye.
Bye.
So, but it's true though, John. I mean, I'll read for people and they'll go, well, I didn't want to hear from that person.
I ended a reading not too long ago when that happened. I literally ended a private reading. Somebody was coming through, and whomever this person was had passed by suicide. And he goes, I have absolutely no interest in hearing from them.
Right.
And I just was like, okay. And then I couldn't get past it. I was like, I'm sorry, sir, but I don't think I'm the right person for you. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, because right now, because of your response, I have absolutely no interest in continuing this reading. And I think I sent him to you. I think I referred him to you.
Gee, thanks. He always sends me those kinds of people. But you know what? You can't help. It's a squeaky wheel that gets the grease. And imagine being a spirit wanting to talk to someone and someone saying, well, I don't care. I don't want to talk to them. I mean, that's really mean.
Yeah, I've had that moment before. I actually tell people, like, when you're going to have a reading and you're going to validate information, your response should not start with a preposition.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of like frown. I'm like, I should not hear the first word out of your mouth should not be, well, maybe. I'm like, you either do or you don't. It's not like, do I want to hear this or not? So it's hard because, as a sitter, you have an expectation. If you've waited to do this, if you're wanting to do this, and I think it's important to probably say this, people shouldn't go for a reading if they're not okay not hearing from the person that they're hoping to hear from. If they feel like, I desperately need a reading, that person desperately needs a grief counselor. That person needs a therapist more than a psychic. If you could sit in an audience, if you could watch CharVision or Evolve or come to a group and appreciate the energy and kind of identify with the energy and go, oh, I have that too, that's healing. That's helpful, because then you can learn by watching. And I think a lot of people get that when they're going to a group. When they're watching a show like this, they listen to it. If I do a TikTok live, right, and there's 5,000 people that are watching, I can't read all those people, but those people can get something out of what's taking place. But the person, yeah.
The thing that freaked me out about you is that you were in an audience and you picked up on somebody that had a transplant, and somehow, what's that story? And you figured out that there was someone else that got the transplant, or they knew someone that got the transplant.
Yeah, I don't remember the details of that now. Katrina tells the story better than I can.
It was a story.
Yeah, I've had a few amazing transplant experiences, and I think it was just to kind of teach me that there's a connection between the donor and the person who's receiving the organ, and that gift of life is really on a cellular level. There's an energetic connection too. So in my book Infinite Quest, I talked about how we have our DNA, right? Our actually DNA, but I kind of feel like we have an energetic DNA as well that's passed down. And I think that when you have a donor, whether you want to call it cellular memory, if you talk to people who are recipients, they will have memories that they never had before. They will have dreams of places and people that they did not know in this lifetime. And they'll have cravings for foods and beverages that they normally wouldn't. So, and I've made a few connections with the recipient and the person who passed, because they knew their families, so they can actually talk to the donor family and give a message back. And this is not statistical or scientific, it's just my own experiences. Liver donors have had a stronger connection for me in some reason than any other organ recipient.
I mean, it freaked me out that you knew that the other person knew the person that got the donor. I mean, that got the liver. I mean, it's amazing to me. It freaked me out. I love it. Anyway, let's get another caller.
Okay, we have 646. I believe the name is Joe, and it's a mediumship question.
Oh,
hey, Joe.
Go for it. Joe.
Hi, John. I have a 646, but I'm Jill, not Joe.
Oh, well, my
Jill,
mistake.
okay.
Hi, Jill.
Okay. Hi, how are you, John? Hi,
I'm good. How
Char.
you doing?
I'm
Hi.
hanging in. Could be better.
Jill, let me
Can you
ask.
hear me?
Let me
I
wait.
have,
Wait before you say anything, Jill. Did anybody around you lose a child? Did somebody lose a son or younger male?
no, not a younger one. No,
Somebody lost a younger male. Where's Jill? Where's the Michael connection to you?
don't have a Michael.
I think you do. But I could be off by the name. I won't be off by the first part. Where's the end, Jill? So just to explain the process as a sitter, to give Jill a moment to think, I'm throwing information at you, and you already had a person in mind that you wanted to connect with, right? So who did you want to hear from? Relationship only, Jill.
My brother.
Okay. So put your brother on hold. Is your brother younger than you?
No.
So there is definitely a younger male that I need to highlight. So unless you treated your brother like he was your child and he's placing himself below you, I would normally see things in levels. And his mom passed too, Jill?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm going to tell you right now that your mom is with your brother, but there is a younger male to you, Jill. And the month of April is connected to your family because they show me the number 4. So the number 4 to me would be like the 4th month. Or I could be wrong. It could be the 4th of a month, birthday or anniversary, something significant. And then Jill, somebody either passed from sepsis or they had like a multiple organ system shutdown. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't know if it's mainly the heart in the family.
So I'm going to tell you that I worked at a hospital, and when they show me certain things, I kind of like trust them. So even though like one time I was on crossing over and I said to this woman, like, did she have a problem breathing? And the woman was actually very funny, and she goes, "Don't we all in the end?" And she didn't say in a mean way. It was just kind of like, like we all have a heart problem at the end. So I will get other things leading up to it. So either your mom or your brother, or I'm not even gonna say it, somebody connected to you had a multiple organ system shutdown. That means that we're watching the person. They're probably in a critical care unit. They're probably not responsive to you. And that's what I'm looking at. So who had that kind of, you know, healthcare ending?
My mother wasn't in hospice, but she had multiple things now that is shutting down. She had cancer, and then breast cancer, then it got better, then she had biliary blockage, but she wasn't in hospital when she passed.
So was she in a hospital bed though?
No.
Okay, so then it's not her. It's somebody that would have been in a hospital ICU kind of environment, Jill. And you definitely have a Michael. You have a Michael. So is there a living Michael that's connected to you?
A living Michael. No.
Yes, there is.
No.
Jill, listen to me very carefully.
No.
Jill, are you familiar with how I read?
John, I've been in your show years ago, crossing over. Spirits brought me to your show. I followed you for years. I know. I'm open. I even appreciate how you always say you don't need a medium like me to connect. I get you. But
great. So get
no
this.
You
get this. You are connected to a Michael. So you just need to understand that they're using that as a way of validating for you. So if you have this openness, then you should be able to go, oh, Michael is my brother's friend. Oh, Michael is the son to my mom's friend. And there's the validation. And then somebody's making me feel like they either passed, Jill, on someone's birthday, or there's 2 dates that are synonymous. Where is that?
Close
You
to
still there?
birthday, but not. Yes, close to birthday, but not on.
Yeah, the 2 dates are synonymous. So like when the one date rolls around, you're looking at it and going, oh, there's that anniversary. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of, it's like the dates are kind of in tandem in some way. Do you understand?
You know, it's something very strange though. When you just said Michael, I don't have a relative Michael in my family, but I have a friend who is expecting a baby, and I'm not sure, but I think the child's name will be Michael. And for whatever reason, I was just telling my daughter the other day that there's a weird connection if this child if it's a boy, and this child it is a boy, but I don't know the name, but because it's
Right.
the family name, that I feel that this unborn child has like a connection to my brother.
Now, I was
who
now I'm
passed
just
18 months ago.
I'm
But
just
that's just a guess. That's just my.
so I'm going to tell you that
whatever.
I feel like it's important for you to know that your mom and your brother are together. I don't know if you
Okay.
did not get an opportunity to talk to your brother before he left or get a chance to see him before he left,
No.
but
No.
you did not?
No.
Okay. So whenever they show me the symbol of wiping the slate clean, and if you see me doing this on the screen, I'm putting one hand over the other and I'm wiping it. That's probably one of my oldest symbols. It's like don't hold on to that. And then, are you in Florida? I know 646 is a New York number, but are you in Florida?
Yeah. No, I'm in the Bronx.
Okay, because 646 is New York, right?
Okay, wait. I have a cousin in Florida who's married to a Michael. Okay.
Okay. And then,
That's
But
Michael.
but
And
he's
then-
alive.
Michael.
that's okay. They'll give me living names to kind of anchor me too.
Okay.
And then Jill, did you
Okay.
ask your mom to come for your brother?
Not tonight, but every day I talk to them. We were very close, very close.
So
family. My
I
mom's
feel
been
like
gone a while.
I feel like I'm supposed to say that if your brother's passing was a surprise passing for you, I need you to know that your mom came for him, and somebody's got a shepherd dog. There's like a dog that's like a shepherd-sized dog for me. That's there in spirit. So somebody lost a dog, and I think there was a problem with one of the dog's legs. Like there was an issue with the dog's leg. So either it was broken, burnt, missing. There's something off with the dog's leg, because I see it like up. So it lets me know there's something that's there. And are you one of 3 kids?
One of just 2. There was just myself and my brother.
No, your mom's telling me you're one of 3, so she must have miscarried.
He did
Yeah.
before I was born.
Yep. Yeah, she's telling me that energy's there. I hope this helps, Jill. Thank you for
There you go.
calling.
Jill, that
Thank
was
you, John. Thank you, Char.
oh, thank you so much for calling in, John. That was really great. But it's so hard when oh yeah, Florida. Oh yeah, my cousin's married to Michael, and you probably would have, if there was more time, I'm sure
Yeah, you get there. But the
Yeah.
important message is that her mom and brother were together, and mom came for the brother.
and that's
then hopefully
really healing. That's really, really healing. Well,
Char, thank you for having me.
no, will you come back sooner?
Of course.
Okay, but
Absolutely.
because it's so much fun when you're on and when we can talk, and I didn't want to barge into any readings because I love watching you read. Where are you going, and how can people get a hold of you?
Anything I'm doing is on johnedward.net. So it's John Edward, no S on Edward, johnedward.net.
Okay, and you're going to be in Michigan on April 7th, and I hope I get to see you.
Yes.
And where else are you going to be?
Atlanta, Houston, Dallas. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. But
John,
wherever I'm going, yeah, johnedward.net under events, and that'll.
Are you still doing private readings though as well, right?
Always. And Zoom groups. I've adopted that, and I'm going to continue even though the world is opening up. I absolutely love doing the Zoom groups.
Yeah, people love going to your Zoom groups, and I love having you on. And I can't.
Thanks, Charzy.
Okay, Pima. I can't. We'll tell people next time why I call you Pima. But I can't tell you how many times people have called into the show and they go, I love John Edward. I watch John Edward, and I'm so grateful that we're friends and that you're here and that you're helping so many people. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you.
Alrighty. Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Tony. Okay, everybody. That's it for now. I appreciate John Edward for being here. I appreciate Tony for helping. And remember, intuition will take you places logic never could. Bye-bye. Be well.